Well, there's probably no better way to grow up than growing up on a ranch.
By God, there's a cow.
But growing up on the border, it was just interesting to never really see or hear or think of anybody being out there in that remote ranch. And then as I was getting older, realized there's 200-300 people a night going through there.
Hey, come on, cat, come on. Hey. Hey, Juan, si piensa que es la vaca ahí, déjala.
Backtracking to time, say, 30 years ago, there was a steady flow of illegals coming through a ranch, and they usually would ask if we could give them a couple of days' work.
Ahí apártalo. Whether or not they were going to go further north or not, but they'd come over and work for you. And there was nothing extraordinary about it. It wasn't a big deal to go across the line. It wasn't a big deal for them to come over here. And then in the 80s, it started changing. It was $300 a month. And every one of them wanted a drink of water and directions.
And we always did. We kept a can of Spam and bread.
And then in the 90s, it was $300 a day. And they just stole stuff and broke stuff, and trucks stolen, cars stolen, saddles. Had 2 horses stolen. Got one back. But what's happened since the mid-2000s is the cartels took over the human trade as well as the drug trade. That's what the whole border's about now, just money. It isn't about immigration, it's about smuggling.
Smugglers are not people you want to run into out in the middle of the ranch. We think on our ranch there were 6 murders on the ranch itself. We have a tree that was previously called locally a rape tree. A high percentage of the women are raped in the process of crossing the border. And their underwear is draped on trees to demonstrate how macho the Mexican was that led them across the border. It takes a particular bad mindset to do things like that.
Yeah, they cut both sides. And down here a little bit, they were, well, here it is. They're just cutting it tall enough to get a truck through. Instead of cutting all the way up, they do it here. Wouldn't need a ladder. These are concreted, but no rebar. So they'd score the edge of it and then put a toe strap and break it. So I haven't had any positive effect from having a fence. We got permanent cameras, we got radar units, we got portable cameras, and none of that has worked because there isn't enough Border Patrol to respond to the traffic that's coming through it. This isn't a humanitarian deal anymore. This is securing the border. And you have to act like it's a military exercise.
Yeah, there's definitely 2 sides to it. There definitely is. The 2 sides are, what we did today, working outside with my hands and actually producing something every day. I don't know, it's kind of living the dream. That's what I always wanted to do, so that's what I do. It doesn't get a whole lot better than that, so. The other side of that is if there's criminals coming through here and smuggling drugs and smuggling people, all the criminal activity that goes along with it.
We're waiting with interest to see what happens with President Trump. The number of illegals coming through now there's been a big drop at the time of Trump's election.
This is the best it's been in 30 years.